question for you. Why are you moving? What's your lifestyle like? What are some of the favorite activities that you or you and your family like to do? Those are some of the really valuable questions to think about when you are considering making a move. This isn't going to be your typical Vancouver is so amazing, you should move here video, but I do think Vancouver is pretty amazing and I would be stoked to see you move here. In this video, I'm going to break down how I start every single one of my buyer consults. Every time I start working with new home buyers is I do a buyer consult meeting and we talk about lifestyle and goals. And then I want to reverse engineer to find a property that matches your lifestyle. You're not looking for 2 beds and 2 baths. You're looking for something that is a reflection of your lifestyle, your real estate goals, your financial goals. And that's what I want to help you find here in this video. And make sure to stick around to the very end because I'm going to show you some of my absolutely favorite little less known spots, whether you're into cold plunging or hiking or whatever your favorite outdoor activity is. Stick around to the end. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about real estate in Vancouver and the surrounding areas, subscribe below. Tap the bell for notifications to be the first to learn what's going on in the current market here in Vancouver. My name is Megan Becker, local realtor, eXp Realty. Myself and my team get calls every day from people looking to make a move to or within this amazing city. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, text, or email, and I'm excited to help you make a smooth move to the greatest city in Canada. Let's talk real estate and lifestyle, and what better place to do that than the middle of the forest here. I figured I wanted to take you guys on a tour of one of my favorite spots. We're at Cypress Falls today. You can probably hear the falls behind me. We're gonna go on a little bit of a trail here. Well, I help you understand and unpack 3 ideas to consider when you're making a move from a higher level. Let's talk about number 1 is why are you moving? Famous author Simon Sinek wrote his book, Start With Why. And I love the concept because if you don't know why you're doing something, the decision-making process can be very, very challenging. And so the very first thing I do when I start working with home buyers is I sit down and we have what I call a buyer consult. And this is about an hour meeting, and the majority of it is to understand you and your goals. So part of that conversation with clients is getting to understand, like, what is your lifestyle? What are the activities that you like to do? And so I'll use myself as an example. The reason why I was so attracted to Vancouver was because of this. This is literally at your front doorstep. I wanted close access. There's something so therapeutic about being outdoors in nature. Vancouver is a rainforest. You know, people do complain that it does rain here a lot, but the benefit to that is that look around. You get all this lush greenery and it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this is a Thursday afternoon. There's nobody out here except you and me recording this video, but this is what I wanted. I fell in love with just being outdoors. I think ever since I was a kid, my parents would take me camping in the mountains, and there was just something so exciting about exploring new areas, doing different things, being in areas that, you know, you're not attached to your phone, you don't have cell service. And so for myself, that was really important to me. And a lot of my clients that live here or moving here, that was the same thing. It was access to trail running, mountain biking, swimming, snowboarding, skiing, all of these types of things, rock climbing, that is at your fingertips here. So depending on in the greater Vancouver area that you live, maybe you have pets, and being close access to trails to take your dog for a walk is really important. Or having an off-leash area or a dog park really close to you. I mean, I do have clients, again, that was a huge consideration when they were looking for a place, is it needed to be, they wanted to be downtown, but close access to a dog park. And the really cool thing about Vancouver is that you've got this like concrete downtown, but there's a handful of dog parks right in the middle of downtown because, yeah, a lot of people in Vancouver have dogs, which is fun. Obviously, another consideration when it comes to lifestyle is your family, your kids. Schools are important, and looking at family growth. You want to put yourself in an area that your kids are going to be at great schools. And so figuring out, doing the research, finding the right schools, what they offer, and things like that. Another thing to consider is your commute time. And especially if you have a family, Vancouver is known for busy traffic. And so I always encourage clients, map out, jump on Google Maps. There's a feature that you can actually set the time that you want to make your trip. So if you have to be at work in a certain area by 8 o'clock, time it out. You can jump on Google Maps, time it out. So it'll give you an idea. And you might find that, it's an hour commute. So you have to ask yourself, is that something that you're prepared to do? I know that is a huge factor to a lot of clients that I work with as well, is they had a hard stop. Okay, commute had to be 30 minutes or under, or something like that. Maybe you're fine with it, with an hour commute, but just another consideration there. And so if that is a really huge deciding factor, I get it. Maybe you have kids. You don't want to spend all your time in a vehicle commuting. So we draw a radius around your place of work, and then we figure out, what are the other factors that you're considering there. If this is resonating with you, I would love for you to reach out. All my info is in the description box below. Not every realtor is created equally. I take a very hands-on approach to working with clients. That's why I want to take the time to get to know you. My goal is not just to sell you a home. I want to understand who you are so that you can truly be happy with, one, a great investment, but a property that's going to be a reflection of your lifestyle and you're truly going to enjoy. And number 3, what are your goals with this property? Is this maybe your first property and it's a stepping stone to get into the property ladder? I have a lot of clients that they want to get into the market because Vancouver, it is, compared to other cities, because of the average sale price here, it is a little bit more challenging to get into the market. So clients want to, their goal with their first property is to just get into the market, start building some equity. And their longer term goal is to then use that equity to eventually buy, their next property, keep that first property, potentially use it as some type of investment there. And so if that's the case, then we're going to look at your first property almost with that lens of looking at it somewhat like an investor. And so we want to look for things that are in line with making it a great investment property, like, growth in an area, easy access to public transportation, a desired tenant profile there. Or maybe you have a growing family and so you want to look at this property like, okay, this works now, but we're planning on having some kids in the future. So you want to be able to proactively prepare for that. There's a lot that goes into moving. And, a 1-bedroom condo in a really amazing location might be attractive right now. But if and when you're planning on having kids in the next couple of years, you might want to consider that when looking at the property as well.
Okay, this is what you've been waiting for, the secret. They're not secret, but the reason why I wanted to share them with you is because they're some of my favorites, mostly because I like to maximize time. I think everybody, you work schedules, have all these other things going on. So to be able to maximize time in nature, less commute, getting incredible views or being in secluded nature is really important. So these are what I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to share with you the time of day, why I like them, the times that it takes to complete them, and I'll show you where to find them on the All Trails app. So first one is Whyte Lake here. So it is over in West Vancouver. And this is the name of the hike on All Trails here. It's via the old helipad route. So it's a really cool hike. The reason why I like this one is, one, because it's close. And I like to do this early in the morning. The last time I did this was a couple months ago in October. And we started at 6:30 a.m. So there's nobody on the roads at that time. So it made it nice and easy to get to. This one is about 5 kilometers. You can actually add on routes if you have a little bit more time here. So this route that is labeled here in green is 5 kilometers, but there's extra routes you can kind of see, like go up there, you can add on some distance, or there's other trails here that you can add on. And just depending on how much time you have, how long of a hike you want to go. But I like this one. It is a little steeper right at the beginning. We like going clockwise, so going up this way first. This is fairly steep here. The first time I did this, I actually wore a 20-pound weighted vest. And I wasn't really sure about how that decision was going to go because, yeah, the first part of this, as you can see here, there's quite a bit of elevation right off the bat. But as you can see, it starts to fairly level out and then actually goes down slightly. But we like going clockwise there. And then the nice thing about this one is that you get this lake at the turn, well, it's not really a turnaround point, but at the halfway mark, and we'll oftentimes jump in and go for a quick cold swim, depending on the time of year and depending on how cold we want, just dictates how long the hike will take. But the last time we did it, we hung out at the lake for maybe 10 minutes. A couple people went swimming, and this total round trip took us about an hour and 45 minutes here. And again, we weren't moving super fast. You could definitely trail run this, and then obviously would take a little bit less time there. But the really cool part about this is that all through here, for the most part, especially on the descent here, this is all covered in canopy of trees. And so if it is pouring rain, you're actually going to be protected by the trees, and it gives this very surreal, peaceful, almost like fairy tale vibes. You're in the middle of nature and it's really secluded. You can see that we're close to Highway 99, but there's only very few spots that you can actually hear the traffic, which is really quite nice there. Next is Pump Peak, which is on Mount Seymour, which is right up here. So this is a very cool hike. I've done this varying times of the year. The first time I did this, there was a group of 27 of us. We did a sunrise hike. We met at the very base of Mount Seymour. Actually, down in here, there is a Safeway, a coffee shop, amenities down there. We all met there and then carpooled up to the base of Mount Seymour, which is a really good way to do it, just in case people don't know where they are going. Sometimes parking can be a little crazy, but then we carpooled up the winding road here and then left the vehicle at the parking lot, which is right there. It's the base of Mount Seymour, the ski resort, and then ascended up. So as you can see, the distance, it was about 7 kilometers. And the route that we took, it took us about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And this was with a group of 27 people, so we were naturally a little bit slower, but we timed it so that we were up at the peak there about 20 minutes before sunrise, so we watched the entire thing. It was the most gorgeous, the coolest experience. We definitely needed headlamps because the whole ascent up there was in the dark. It was really cool. It made it really nice. We had people that had done this before in the dark, because it's definitely different versus doing something in the dark versus in the daytime. But that is a very cool one. Round trip took about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And then I've done this recently in the snow, and it's about similar. When I did it in the snow with people, it took very similar time. It's a little bit slower this time, obviously, because of the snow. We definitely had to wear spikes. It would not, they would not have been possible without like crampons or spikes like that on our shoes. Some of the spots get fairly slippery and they're steep, so there's definitely value to having the spikes there. Some of the people had poles. I personally didn't have poles, but some people really like them, especially for that. And just to be aware of with Mount Seymour is that the gate at the right before the ski resort, which is right around there, depending on the time of year, I know in the off season, so anything like right now we're in December months, it actually opens at 7 a.m. So we had to plan accordingly so that we weren't, sitting at the gate, because if you don't plan, you can park on this side of the gate, but then you are walking quite a bit up there, which is fine, but it's just nicer when you can park further and then all your hiking time is actually spent hiking in the trails versus walking up a road. So the next one that we access through the exact same parking lot at Mount Seymour there is called Dog Mountain. And the thing I like about this one is that it's fairly short. you're not getting too much elevation changes. It's about a 5 kilometer out and back, but you do get incredible views with this one. And so it is one of those, you get a huge reward for not too strenuous of a hike there. And it's one that if you have friends that aren't super into hiking, or they just want something a little bit easier, or it's kind of a first time out, this is a fairly easy hike to get into. There is a lot of roots. That's the part that makes this one challenging, is you kind of have to keep your head down the majority of the way, because there's a lot of roots. It's not something where, you're going to be looking up at everything. You're likely going to kind of catch a toe and potentially trip there. So that'd be the only thing to be aware of there. And then in the wintertime, this is absolutely gorgeous as well, because the nice thing about the wintertime is that the roots are all covered with snow. So you get a nice flat snow path to walk on. But out here, you get these incredible views. I'll zoom out here, and you can obviously get an idea of, you get the whole entire valley here, which is pretty gorgeous. So Dog Mountain is not one that I would necessarily love to trail run just because of the routes. So it's more of one if I want, a walk with the dog, or if I want a nice little recovery, or throw on a weight vest and do something a little bit quicker. There was 7 of us all together the last time I went, and it took us about an hour and 25 minutes total round trip, and we probably spent about 15 minutes at the top just taking in the view, hanging out, brought some coffee and some snacks and had it up there. Next, we are heading back to North Van to Cypress Falls. So this one, it's a cool hike. You are covered in a canopy of trees the whole entire way. You've got a couple lookouts. You're basically running or hiking alongside the creek here, and you're gonna get all the waterfalls there. But the reason why I like this one is because there is a very cool area to access a cold plunge spot. So this is the parking lot, and you're gonna walk here directly towards the trees. This is where the trees start here, the trail starts, and there is a sign that says to the lower area here, it's right about there, and you're going to duck off the main trail, and you're going to descend down here towards the water, and right around here you're going to look down, and it's pretty steep down, but if you come down a little bit further and go around and kind of tuck in there, this is a very cool area to do a cold plunge. It's super secluded. Every time I've been there, I've been by myself, or I've been with the people that I went there with, and you get this little kind of whirlpool action, and it's so peaceful. You're right by the falls, and you're kind of down in a little bit of a gully, and it's a really cool area there, and it's super close to the parking lot. So, obviously getting out of the freezing cold water, make sure you bring a towel and some warm clothes for that trek back up. But yeah, you're maybe a 5-minute walk back to the car there. And the last spot that I really love is Deep Cove, which is this little cove right there just off Burrard Inlet. And there is a hike that you can do, which is this Quarry Rock hike. So again, this is a super short one. It's really great for trail running. Throw on a weight vest. I've done that a few times. And then you get the lookout right on Quarry Rock here to see all of Burrard Inlet. You get some really incredible views, especially if you go in the morning, you get the sunrise. But what I love about Deep Cove is actually paddleboarding. This is one of my favorite spots to go to in the morning. I will arrive here at about 7:30. And the nice thing about getting there super early is that you can find parking right along this main area here. If you go any later, it's going to fill up and you're going to have a challenge finding parking. But it's to go nice and early, get a close parking spot, blow up the paddleboard, and then I've paddled all the way out. I've paddled along the shore here, which is really cool. Lots of times you can find some seals. They like to hang out around that area, which is super fun. Sometimes they'll even come really close to my paddleboard. I've paddled out to Jug Island, which is this little spot right there, which is really cool. And I like this in the morning time because you get the sun is going to come in this way. You get the sunrise. It is super, super calm in the morning. So I hope you found that of value. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you've tried any of these spots, if you like them just as much as I do, or if you have other good ones that you know that, okay, I only have an hour to get my, workout or hike in. This is the area that I like to go and maybe the time of day, because I think that is super helpful when you can maximize the time that you're out in nature. We all have jobs and all have to work, and so it's really cool when you can find things that if you've got a sliver of time or an hour here or there, you can put a really fun outdoor activity in.
I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Put it in the comments if you have some favorite kind of lesser known hikes or trails that you've fallen in love with. I would love for you to share your secret with me. I trust that you got value from this video. I hope you enjoyed this tour of Cypress Falls here. If you're considering making a move, I would love the opportunity to chat and eventually tour you around this incredible city. We can go look at some houses and maybe even hit up a couple hikes or two. My name is Megan Becker, local realtor, eXp Realty. Please reach out. All my info is in the description box below. And until next time, I realized I cannot record a video and run, so I'm going to sign off now and continue on this trail run here and enjoy Cypress Falls.